It is all happening on today's episode. We are talking about Xbox taking over the Las Vegas Sphere, a gaming PC infused with real human blood, the new Star Wars remaster, the Twitch CEO got caught on a kick stream, all this and more right now for the win. FTW. Welcome back to the FTW, the greatest video game podcast in the world. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. If you enjoy the show, give this episode a thumbs up on YouTube and let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment. If you have Spotify, hop on the app, give it a 5-star rating. All these things help us out a ton. And last but not least, if you want more FTW during the week, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, links in the description. Now let's get into everything. It's been a big week in video games, lots to talk about. This sickest thing happened this week, in my opinion. Xbox takes over the Las Vegas Sphere. Microsoft went all out on Xbox advertising with its takeover of the Las Vegas Sphere the other night. The Sphere displayed shots from numerous games available on Xbox, including Starfield, Forza, Cyberpunk 2077, with even a short appearance from Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silverhand, before showing the Xbox Series X/S line of consoles. The advertising cost is around $450,000 per day or $650,000 for a week. John, you were just in Vegas. Did you see this? Or was that after you left?
I think it was after I left. I didn't get to see anything Xbox. I didn't really get to see anything cool in the Sphere. It was mostly just like random smiley faces.
Did you go up to it? Like when I was there for DEF CON, we got as close as we could because it's so funny. You could still see like there's dead pixels already on the damn thing.
Oh,
there was an unofficial contest at DEF CON to like hack the Sphere.
dude.
Like there was a bounty if someone was going to be able to hack the Sphere.
If you guys could put any one thing on the Sphere, what would you put?
A blue screen of death.
I'd probably put the Halo CE main menu. Just let that play all the way through. We should probably address the elephant in the room. It's Halloween, and Henry, can you give us a 1-minute rundown of your fit?
I am Vanilla Slice, right?
Right.
So we got Michael Myers, Vanilla Ice. It just makes sense. It just makes sense, right? I don't know. I don't know if that was in frame, but
Slice, baby.
Slice, baby.
John, who are you?
I am a luchador, lucha libre, on my way back to my hotel room at sunrise after losing all my money at Circus.
Very good. Very good. I am a USC doctoral student getting my doctorate in occupational therapy.
Does your wife know that you are dressing up as her for Halloween?
Yeah. No, she's cool with it. Or I could be a professor at Hogwarts. Choose your own adventure type vibe, you know? Anywho, back to the Sphere. I think the Sphere is the perfect thing for Xbox. It's like when I saw the Xbox logo come over it, the 360 Sphere, I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." But the big controversy.
There's people that are hating that. They're like, of all the things to put on there, you put that. I'm like, that's what to me makes the most sense.
Yeah, exactly. That makes the most sense. But what doesn't make sense is they didn't have any Halo on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big deal. that they wouldn't put. I think that is a statement.
They
Unintentionally
could've, like,
or
They could have
intentionally.
made it a halo that was like rotating around and
Yeah.
played with the effect where like the center of looked like it was hollow. They totally could have. That would
Yeah.
have been sick.
But what does this say about their, I don't know, commitment to the franchise and how they? I mean, they're doing one of their biggest pushes, of the holiday season here, and they choose not to advertise their biggest IP that they have. I don't know if they're committed to it.
Well, here's my stance on that, right? Like, I agree with you, but let's be honest. A deal like this started being put into place months, if not a year ago. And where was Halo at months ago and a year ago? Right? It had a tarnished reputation, so it actually behooved them to not mention the stepchild at the time when this was being put into place. It's only fairly recently that Halo has had a bit of a resurgence. So,
yeah, they had like Starfield and Cyberpunk had a rough go, but it's just interesting to me.
But that was 2 years ago. Like, Cyberpunk fixed itself, like it's been fixed for a while.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it makes sense that
Yeah.
Well, I think the advertising is working. I read today that Xbox had one of their best first quarters ever, and they were up. Xbox content and services revenue increased 13%, and when Starfield came out, they had the single highest number of subscriptions for Game Pass ever. So a lot of Microsoft's other stuff didn't do so well, but Xbox was like the main thing doing really good for them. So kudos.
I think it's only going to get better for them, to be honest, with the merger and Game Pass. I think they're set up to start really crushing. So anyways, that was super cool. I wish I could have been there to see it. Would have been great, but whatever. Cool. Blizzard is giving away a PC infused with real human blood. In an effort to help the nation's blood shortage, Blizzard is calling on all Diablo players to do their part and donate to local blood drives. Their goal is to collectively reach 666 quarts of blood, wink wink. Upon donating, players can unlock in-game skins and cosmetics. Reaching 666 quarts of blood will unlock a sweepstakes where players can win a liquid-cooled PC infused with human blood, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4090, and an Intel Core i9 CPU. Any of you guys going to donate blood for some in-game skins?
Is our money not enough? You take all of our money, you need our blood?
how dystopian is that? It's like, hey boys, you donate some blood to the video game company, you get some additional cosmetics for your character. Huh? How about it?
It reminds me.
The FOMO. You got to give your blood so you don't miss out on these exclusive cosmetics.
Now, here's the thing. This can get political real fast because, like, there are certain groups that are not allowed to donate blood. Are they able to? Are they able to enter this contest in another form? Like, remember the whole Pepsi Jet thing where you could get Pepsi points, but you could also just buy Pepsi points for entries?
No, I don't know anything about the Pepsi story, Henry. Tell us. I'm just kidding.
At least the gist of it. I know what you're fucking saying. I'm saying that I need to explain. I guess you can't say, oh, you remember Pepsi points? That just... Anyway. But, it's...
Yeah.
It reminds me of when Kiss did this sort of thing back in the 70s. But they didn't have a political agenda of like, hey, donate blood. They just want to be edgy and put blood in their ink. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like a super original thing. Someone did it with shoes, some shoes earlier in the year.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I think those got taken off the market pretty quick.
Yeah.
If I remember right. That was like Lil Nas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting way to incentivize people to give blood who maybe wouldn't normally, but
I agree. I agree with the sentiment of the
Yeah.
concept. It's just very dystopian in execution. Like,
yeah.
it's like we're gonna use some blood to make you give more blood, but
Yeah. And I don't think the blood
And it's during the blood
computer-
harvest
I know.
season of blood,
Yeah.
season 2.
for a satanic game, also like a game with a lot of satanic game, it's good marketing. You know.
Yeah.
They're literally harvesting human blood. We thought it was just in the game
Nope.
and monsters and demons, but it's actual humans.
Yeah. It's not enough. I would need okay, John, what would it take in game? You play Diablo. What in-game thing could they give you to incentivize you to like go donate a quart of blood? Because
Uber unique. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, just an Uber unique.
Probably all of them, one of each. I'd be positive they ain't sticking no needle in my arm.
Yeah. Yeah, I would need like a couple Uber uniques that are rolled really well. I don't want like, oh, here's an Uber unique rolled terribly.
Well, the Uber uniques are already max rolled, so you're good.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm.
See, shows you how
There's
much I know.
they're all the same. They just
Oh,
they're
thank
perfect.
God. Yeah, okay. All right.
Regular uniques can be rolled terribly.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. Yeah, well, anyways, if you want to do it, you can, all you got to do is you just go donate blood, and then you just, like, go to their website, take a picture of your little card they give you, and then, boom, you're good to go.
We need to see if Checked Out Doc has any connections with his old blood bank. He can just fudge our names onto a card or something and send it to us.
Yeah, well, at first when I was reading it, I thought it was each person. Like, in order to get the unlocks, you had to do 666 quarts of blood. And I was like, hold on. I was like, Micah, who is a doctor, how many quarts of blood can you give? He's like, well, we usually do like
pints.
We usually do like, you can only donate once every couple months, and we usually take about, I think he said 2 quarts, and he's like, that's it. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's only 6 times a year. And then I started to do the math. I'm like, oh, so you can only go like 55. It would take 55 years for you to get these unlocks as one person. But it's collective.
Blizzard for you.
It's collective.
What happens if one person were to donate all that blood? It wasn't their blood, but one person.
They just come with the bag.
Don't ask where I got it. But I got the 666 quarts.
It's O negative. It's universal. We're fine.
I could see Blizzard messing up the math, though.
Yeah,
We
they
meant
would.
6.66.
Yeah, we meant. That's so true. That's what they would do. Oh, we meant 6.6% times 1.1 quarts of blood per person.
Decimals.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so good. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster gets a February 2024 release date. Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster is being made in collaboration with Lucasfilm Games and sees the 1995 first-person shooter being remade. It's promising resolutions of up to 4K at 120 FPS for its enhanced release. There's also talk of upgraded gameplay, high-resolution textures, enhanced lighting, and rendering, plus gamepad support. How good is remaking old games, Henry?
Who's making it? What developers doing it? The issue was it? Is
collaboration?
Night Dive.
It's in good hands. It's in good hands then. Yeah.
It's in good
They have
hands.
yet to like miss the mark, and that's their bread and butter is like retro FPS remastering. They
Wait,
do it
it's a
like so
remake
well.
though.
Remake, remastering. They've done both. Like Night Dive is just that's what they do.
Oh
And,
wait, sorry. No, it's a remaster.
but with like, I think they said there was like a remake part of it. Like I don't remember. But yeah, it's looking fine. Like it's gonna work out well if it's Night Dives is one doing it. So
That's good. Good news for Star Wars fans. I'll probably give it a whirl. It sounds like a really interesting. I haven't actually played it. It was 95.
it's a Doom clone, but it's definitely got it's got some deeper gameplay than Doom a little bit. It's definitely solid and holds up. I replayed it like a handful of years ago.
Nice. The CEO of Twitch got caught live on a Kick stream. During TwitchCon, Kick streamer Vinny B was live streaming out on the Vegas Strip when Twitch CEO Dan Clancy casually walked behind his stream. Vinny says hi to him, but then lets him know that he's live on Kick, to which Clancy responds, "Uh-oh, hey, that's your choice," and gives him a high five and walks away. One of the funnier things to happen at TwitchCon this past weekend, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. But he definitely, the Twitch CEO, Dan, he definitely like got out of there as soon as he was like, "Sorry, bad news. I'm actually live on Kick right now." And he's like, "Oh," he's like, he dipped.
All right, see you later. Yeah, I think he was a good sport about it.
Yeah, he seems like a pretty good sport in general. He's actually
Like out of all
like
the ways you could like handle that situation, like it's like, oh well, great, and
yeah. the only thing I think he could have done differently is if you wanted to just like completely ham it up and be like, Kick sucks, boo,
yeah,
Twitch is the best,
yeah,
and just been like super cringy and funny about it.
I know there's a lot like on the line when you're a CEO and everything you say, matters. But I mean, it could have been a great, like, moments like these are great opportunities to win people over and to just be like, what are you looking for in a streaming? Like, just talk to him, right? He's right there. He's being nice about it. The kid's being nice about it. He's not like a hater, and be like, so what do you want to see in a streaming platform? Or what do you want me to do to get you to come over to Twitch, and just be real about it. I think that like goes a long way with people. I could see how you could be nervous to do something like that, but I feel like just being like that honest, open, and having the conversation means you're not scared of the competition. You're not scared of people leaving or coming or going. It's just, okay, well, what are you looking for? What do you want? And let the guy speak his mind and be like, okay, I'll talk to my people, and just like you could be fun about it, hear them out, listen, even if it's like unrealistic what they're asking. But I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
It's pretty wild to me that he's actually just like
walking around
and
like, streaming.
That to me he's
IRL streaming.
Yeah, with the way like YouTubers and streamers are these days, and like just randomly going up to people and doing stuff, like it's crazy that something didn't happen to him.
Yeah,
especially in Vegas.
Yeah, I didn't see any security. I wonder if there was like security trailing him or something. Who knows? Post Malone is teaming up with Apex Legends. Post Malone is hosting an in-game event that'll kick off on November 7th, according to a teaser the artist has posted on Twitter. The event will comprise 2 weeks of beautiful mayhem, Malone says. There's also an Octane skin shown in the graphic at the end of the clip, which could turn out to be a part of the event's theme. I know that he loves Magic the Gathering, and he loves Apex. He is a big Apex guy. So I'm interested to see what this is going to be. It feels like it's going to not be a Nicki Minaj situation, but more of a hosting an event, some maybe in-game playlist or something is what it's leaning towards. 2 weeks of beautiful mayhem, that could be like, I could see like a fiesta type playlist going on where it's like all these crazy weapons and different random stuff happening. I don't know, but I like influencers / celebrity collabs to a point. And I think this is the point where they, someone who loves a game like Post Malone, who actually plays it, like he's been playing for years and years and years, this game. I remember watching him stream it like 3 years ago. And to be like, yeah, let's do like a playlist of your favorite thing or something you come up with, some type of collab. I like that kind of interconnectedness as opposed to giving every single person a skin and all that kind of stuff. What are your guys' thoughts on this collab?
I just need, I only get bothered with celebrity collaborations like this when it's no longer subtle and it starts to pull you away from the in-game universe. And it breaks that immersion. Because then that's why I stopped liking Fortnite. It's just shit run around all over the place and from everything. And so like what unfortunately happens with a lot of games that do this sort of thing, it starts with one and it just has this trickle effect and it no longer looks like what it used to look like at some point. And that's when I draw a line. Once it no longer is subtle and it's very blatant.
Yeah, it does kind of lose its identity a little bit. Like Fortnite had an identity of like these default type characters that ran around, and now it's like it's just it's absolute
Goku and Master Chief. And...
yeah, it's just like there's no identity to like the story or the world that it's in.
Right.
You know what I mean? It like doesn't mean It's kind of weird for sure.
It's like Call of Duty. I stopped playing Modern Warfare 2 also. It's just so weird now. It's so weird to just see Santa Claus and Nicki Minaj running around in Call of Duty. It's it's not what it was.
Yeah.
I think to do it well, you have to like they have to be almost like their own character, like played by the celebrity, not just like pasting the celebrity in. So
like Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk?
Like Keanu Reeves or Idris Elba in Cyberpunk. I also think of like Kevin Spacey in like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where it's like it's a recognizable celebrity face, but they're also like doing a good job and like a good performance and all of that. It's not
They're
just
acting.
I guess one of the things we're
Kinda
talking about
cash
how
grab.
like yeah, exactly. And for them that's just acting. They just went to the studio and recorded their voiceover lines like they would for a normal movie. So I guess it just I don't know. Well, I guess with actors that transitions to a lot more subtly than like a musician, where you have to like change the actual audio of how the game is feeling. You have to, and that can change the tone dramatically.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested to see what the event is. Could be cool. Elden Ring drops a new luxury fashion collab that you can't afford. Luxury fashion brand Arc/8 revealed that it's collaborating with From Software for an Elden Ring themed lineup of clothing items ranging from a $145 graphic tee to a $1,735 faux fur coat. Creative director Dimitri Van Eetveld called it a passion project of his, as he's been a fan of the series since Demon's Souls. Okay. After getting killed by the second boss about 50 times, I just unplugged my PS3, went outside, and left it there for a few hours because I couldn't deal with it anymore. Are you guys going to get anything from the Elden Ring collab? You guys see this?
No.
We can't afford it, David. You already told us.
You can get a
afford it.
$1,090 bomber. It's the lands
I
between
can afford
printed
that.
bomber.
I wouldn't buy that, but I could afford that.
Can afford it.
I've never played Elden Ring, so
You don't want to be a poser.
Yeah.
Elden Ring's one of those games where so many people just all they do is talk about it that it makes me not want to play it.
I've heard nothing but good things. But, well, you know, hey, if you're out there and you're a super Elden Ring fan, actually, like a couple of these tees actually look really cool if they weren't $400. But I wonder if they'll ever do a Halo fashion collab, a luxury Halo shirt.
I think that did happen at some point, but it was like, years ago.
How much do you think, like, on this, there's like a Boss Store t-shirt. How much do you think it costs to make this t-shirt?
Next to nothing. Like,
What's it? Heavyweight
100%
organic
cotton
cotton
jersey.
Yeah, probably like
responsibly sourced and manufactured.
There are
Portugal.
some things on the side, maybe like $20 or something a pop, which is pretty expensive as shirts go, but
as far as like manufacturing costs, once that starts scaling up, they could probably get it for cheaper than 20.
Yeah.
Depending on how many the total is. It's just scales of economics is always like that, and
it's like there's a printed image on the back, nothing on the front, a little logo on the sleeve.
I feel like this is definitely something that yeah, I mean, I think it'll sell. There's super rich people who love Elden Ring, so I mean, if I had tons of money to blow on clothes and this Arc 8 did a Halo collab and released some fire Halo pieces and they were great quality, I would probably get them.
Well, the thing that always like messes me up with this kind of stuff is like, that's a huge screen printed image on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how long is that going to stay on there? Like going through a washing machine, like what are the care instructions on this?
Yeah, the care instructions are usually you're like dry cleaning them, basically.
I think it's at the point, John, when you're spending $400 on a t-shirt, you don't care. Right?
True.
Like, when that's an acceptable price to you, you don't care at that point.
I guess that's true.
You know who does care? P3. Phil Spencer wants to bring back classic games to Xbox. With the recent Activision Blizzard merger, Xbox CEO Phil Spencer has been doing the rounds and spending time with the different studios and teams. Speaking on the official Xbox podcast, Spencer said, I think we've done an okay job at Xbox. I don't think we've done an A+ job of looking at our franchises and revisiting them. It's always a trade-off between what do you do that's new versus going back and doing something. I do think with Game Pass, we have an ability to maybe pick a couple franchises every year and almost do a revisited. I just made up that term. It's not a brand. It encourages me that Phil is in that headspace. That gets me excited.
Yeah.
What would you guys want to see revisited in the Xbox space and potentially come to Game Pass? I have two that come to my mind immediately. Which is, while you guys think about it, one, obviously I've said this before on previous episodes, Tony Hawk games. Tony Hawk, get those servers back up, 1+2, give us 3+4, get the Tony Hawk franchise like going again, even if there are some spin-off games or DLC or just, growing that community. The IP is like unbelievably strong. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater games are like some of the best selling games ever. So it is there. The community is there. It can happen. And then the other one is immediately Guitar Hero. I think Guitar Hero is ripe for a revival. No band nonsense. Just give us a really good guitar and tons of music. And I think Guitar Hero can definitely make a run and make a really strong comeback if it's done well.
I think both of those are really, really solid choices. Like Tony Hawk, obviously, like when 1+2 came out, it nailed it. Everyone was talking about it. It brought the franchise back from the dead, and so it's absolutely asinine that they just said, "Oh well, off to the World of Warcraft mines," and that's exactly what happened. They just dissolved them, and then Guitar Hero, like the Clone Hero community is absolutely massive, right? Mm-hmm. Like people that still play Guitar Hero. Like literally today was I saw an ad for a 3D printed $150 to $200 custom Guitar Hero controller for Clone Hero.
Dang.
And this dude on Etsy, he sells them, he hand makes them, and he has sold a ton of people that's willing to shell out $200 for a guitar now, because the note tracks on Clone Hero can get so much crazier than what they were putting in the original game. So like people have much nicer micro switches inside of the controller and stuff. So the community for both those games is 100% there, but they're just not being supported by the developers anymore. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and they could take what's good from Clone Hero, learn from what they're doing right and build on it.
Look what has the community developed around this game, and then build from there.
Yeah. John, anything you'd like to see make a comeback?
Yeah, there's a couple of games. I mean, I think of the original Xbox is where I probably want stuff revived. I would love to see either a remake, remaster, or sequel to Jade Empire, BioWare RPG that was super, super awesome. And like, I'm pretty sure it sold like really, really good. It's just nothing else ever came of it. And then the other one, I think, David, you probably remember this game, but
Sneakers?
It's called what?
Sneakers? Toys R Us exclusive? Okay, go on.
PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy. Do you remember that game? You're like telekinesis. You could throw the guys in boxes and all that.
Oh, yeah. It was like a third-person shooter?
Yeah, third-person game. And you had a bunch of different powers and stuff.
Crap,
but it was developed by Midway, which is no more.
Whoa, that's
so that
such
would be a cool
cut.
one to like bring back.
Was that the one where you would like hold a guy in the air and then you could shoot him?
Yeah.
Oh man. Is that backwards compatible for Xbox right now? Seriously?
I don't know.
I forgot about that game.
So.
Wow, that's a great one. That is a great call.
But I remember us playing that quite a bit. We loved that game.
Yeah, it's a third-person shooter, and you it's kind of like similar to like Shadowrun. You have some powers and you have your gun, and you use those in tandem. But that's so cool. Oh man, that unlocked a core memory for reals.
Yeah, there's a couple other games like Kung Fu Chaos was one that I always liked playing a bunch. It's like you're playing through different movie sets and through like 60s, 70s Kung Fu movies. It's like a beat 'em up, but it was like really fun. And then also it was like just like a really funny game on top of everything. So yeah, there's a handful of original Xbox games that would be really cool to bring back.
That'd be great. Well, Phil, you hear the cry of our hearts, so do it. Do it. It's time for the 60-second soapbox.
something that is a rising trend that's really getting underneath my skin with digitally distributed games is the absolute removal of a game from the marketplace once they have like sunsetted it, right? So I can't. But I went to go play CS the other day, and then it finally fully clicked that CS:GO is completely gone. And it doesn't matter that CS2 is now here to replace CS:GO. They're different games. They are completely different games. Like, they're very similar, but they run on different engines. They handle slightly differently. And I could still play 1.6. I could still play CS Source. So it's frustrating that I can no longer play CS:GO, even just against, like, in a private match or anything like that. We are losing. You know, on the show before, I've talked about, you know, maintaining video game history and archiving it, and being able to lose that is just so frustrating.
I agree. Somewhere hasn't anyone like downloaded all the files for that game and they can resurrect it?
What you can do is you can right click and you can like download the like beta demo or whatever, and you can play against bots. But that's not what the game was, you know? It's not what the game was when it fully ended. Because the game had been reiterated so many times over the last 11 years just of minor patches. And so to basically lose that, not be able to experience that again. Like, right now, I could say, David, you never played CS 1.6, and we can play 1.6.
Right.
As it was. And we can even do that with 1.5. We can do it to the beta versions. But you can't do that now with CS:GO. And they did the same thing with Overwatch. And it's what I've said before, sounding like I'm just crying about losing games when it's like digitally distributed instead of physical media. But this is what ends up happening. And this is just going to continue to happen more and more.
Yep.
Because like I can't even play CS2 won't launch my Linux machine, but I could play CS:GO just fine on it. So even though they replaced CS:GO with CS2, now my just because I'm running Linux, I can't run it properly.
Yeah, they're literally changing what you paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
Without your permission.
And it's like, oh, you paid for CS:GO, but CS2 is here to replace it, and CS2 is free to play anyway. So, like, they've literally just taken my game that I paid for.
That's crazy.
I was just going to complain about Sony's online requirement for their disk drive on their new PS5.
That's one of the stupidest things I have read in a long time.
Yeah,
So
apparently it's like a one-time thing to do.
Yeah, it's a one-time digital handshake between the two devices, but like, that also brings up like maintaining video game history. What happens when Sony's servers for that are offline? Like,
yeah, right,
10, 15 years from now.
I mean, I also think it's for preventing any third-party drives from connecting to it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of reasons why they're doing it, and like it's just causes a headache down the line. But they won't care about that because that's after they made their money already.
Yeah. Man, I kind of
this doesn't like give me a rash or cause me to break out. I'm going to a wedding this weekend.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I didn't like sanitize it. I got it from Mexico.
This past week, another stupid YouTuber live streamer was caught in Japan breaking the law. And I am so ready to be done with these people. They drive me crazy. And my hope is that if anyone ever goes over to another country, disrespects their law, disrespects their people, that they get the full weight of the law thrown at them in that country. What he was doing was he made a video that was, I traveled across Japan for free. And what he was doing was train hopping illegally, not paying for the trains, and then hiding from the police when they would try and find him. You know, he would hide in the bathroom and stuff. It's the cringiest thing ever. It's so lame. It's so not creative. And anyone who does that cringy stuff for clicks, their channel should get demonetized, and they should, because they're breaking the law, and they should get all of the law in that country thrown at them. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. Like, you guys you're idiots and you're tools. And like, it's just the most disrespectful thing ever. And I can't deal with it. Now, if you're here and you're acting like an idiot, okay, at least it's you're still stupid, but at least it's your country. But how dare you go be a douchebag somewhere else in a completely different culture with completely different people? It's just like, it's the lowest of the low.
Do you get secondhand embarrassment, David? Are you embarrassed as an American on their behalf?
I don't know if that guy's American or not.
That's just when I see those sort of things. That's what ends up happening to me. I'm like, damn it, they're given like we already have a rough reputation overseas.
Yeah.
And they're just like
usually either American or from London.
Yeah,
that's what I found.
Yeah.
it's already, we already have like a lot of things assumed about us when we go overseas, and so they're just making it worse. So like, they're making it harder for me by proxy, and
100%.
so that's why it frustrates me.
100%. It literally causes cultural tensions. And if it's a bunch of Americans, then it's like, yeah, Japanese people are not going to be too keen to have Americans in their country, and like vice versa, right? If we had Japanese people coming over here and doing crazy things in our grocery stores and doing pranks and all this stuff, we would be like, dude, what are these people doing? Like, why are they doing this? And so it's just like it causes unnecessary tension between cultures as well. For sure.
Imagine going to like a rural area of a country, right? And they've never actually met an American, but they've heard stories about us being rude and belligerent and like entitled, and then you just prove all of that.
Yeah.
Like now they have it 100%. Like every American I've ever met has been that way.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the character in Bruges. What's the preferred term? A dwarf?
Dwarf,
little person.
Yeah.
Little person. Where, all throughout the movie, they're like, oh, you're American? And he says, like, yeah, but don't hold it against me. And so he says that like 2 or 3 times, and then later on at night, they're back at his place, like drinking and partying and stuff. He just turns out to be like completely racist. And like,
I haven't seen that movie since like you showed it to me like a decade ago. That was more than a decade. That was like 15 years ago.
It's very non-PC nowadays.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's on my Plex server, so
yeah,
that's good.
Good.
It's good.
The new Fallout TV show premieres next April, starring Walton Goggins. Amazon's Fallout series follows the post-apocalyptic setting popularized by Bethesda's games, this time taking us to the nuclear wasteland of Los Angeles. Fallout's official social media accounts have confirmed the series will be heading to us on the 12th of April, 2024. New Fallout TV show, huh? Some potential here? Amazon kind of dropped the ball with Lord of the Rings, but, I'll give this a watch for sure.
I'll watch the pilot or the first episode, and I'll hold my reservations till then, but I'm generally not happy with that sort of thing. But over the last couple years, it's been better with adaptions by a significant margin. So I would say it definitely has a solid shot of being better than the Halo show. So.
Yeah, I think The Last of Us was very well received and popular. That's probably like the most recent like video game adaptation that was actually like good.
Yeah.
I never watched it because I played the game, so it's like I knew everything that was going to happen. So it's like, why would I watch the show?
Yeah, I'll watch the pilot.
I mean, they might take it in a different direction, like Walking Dead did from the comics.
They did like a couple little things, but like the big twist ending and all of that, it was all the same. People were freaking out, and it's like, yeah, I played the game like 5 years ago. I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Police, they caught a ransomware gang that hacked Capcom. European police have taken down the gang of ransomware attackers responsible for 2020's high-profile Capcom hack, which saw confidential employee information and details on a swath of upcoming games splashed across the internet. The Ragnarlocker ransomware group was arrested at a string of addresses across the continent in raids conducted last week in Czechia, Spain, and Latvia. Details of unannounced game projects, release dates, and other sensitive information included confirmation of the Resident Evil 4 remake, Dragon's Dogma 2, and more, including other projects even slated for 2024.
It can be like that, man, because like especially when you're dealing with international law, like it's really hard to continue to do digital forensics across country lines a lot of the time. That's if you think about that, how many they were all in different countries, and then Capcom is a Japanese company, and so that just becomes so much red tape sometimes when you're dealing with stuff in the corporate sense, and we're no longer dealing with the criminal laws about like when it's dealing with like people, right? It's different than when you're dealing with like intellectual property, and so. It makes sense that it took this long. It's not surprising, unfortunately.
What do you think they should have done to avoid being caught?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I can't hear Henry.
Oh wait, is his audio? Wait, is he talking? I don't know. I don't know if he's talking.
David responded. I was like, wait, I didn't hear him say anything.
No, I was
muting my mic when I'm not talking. Been like muting my mic so you don't hear me like breathing.
I was making a joke because I couldn't hear anything, and it just looked like Henry was staring at us because his mouth isn't moving.
Okay, so like I don't know how they got caught, right? And so they're all in different countries, and so it becomes a lot harder for us to determine where they dropped the ball, who dropped the ball. It could have been one person, and it just leads down a series of breadcrumbs. It just takes one point, and eventually, it can be tracked back to you. That's why it took 4 years. So it wasn't a quick and dirty situation. So
like one person not deleting their browser history.
It could be one person not deleting something. It could be one person that didn't mask at some point. It could be one person could have gotten information from another person that was that they were the ones that spilled.
Like,
There's
bro, I literally paid for a NordVPN subscription for all of us. All you had to do was use it. How did you forget to use the NordVPN subscription?
It's just one button. You click it and it connects you to it. But it could have been somebody that because a lot of times it's when you're dealing with something infiltration of this type. You're networking within other people, networks within networks to like get in other places to get information. And after so many links in the chain, somebody could give it up.
Yeah. If someone wanted to say like hack 343, like what would their first step be?
Like a good hacker. Like if they wanted to hack 343 and leave like sticky notes on the notes app on one of their computers and say, "Hey, great job, guys. We love and support you." The fans, like something like that. How would you go about doing that?
I just answered, but my mic was muted, so sorry, guys.
Speaking of Halo, Faze Clan are the 2023 Halo World Champions. In the Grand Finals bracket reset, Faze Clan came storming back to beat out former champs Optic And Halo Infinite only crashed a number of times.
Jeez.
Not too bad. World Championships, your game's crashing a few times. Apparently, it was better than last time when it was crashing a ton. Now it's
Do you guys
only
remember when
crashing
Halo
a few
2
times.
crashed at the World Finals of MLG? No?
No. I don't ever. I was talking, Henry, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think I was talking to John and I was just saying, like, I don't ever remember Halo 1, 2, or 3 like crashing like that. The only you can be disconnected from Xbox Live and that kind of thing, but like fully like the game crashing, I don't remember that. The only time I ever saw it happen was when we did a LAN. Halo 1, 16 people. And there was 8 of us on, it was 4 TVs, 4 Xboxes, and we all got on Blood Gulch, and we had rockets, starting weapon, and everyone was shooting rockets, and it was so crazy. And I remember, I don't even think the game crashed, but frames dropped to like 15, 5 frames a second. It bogged down like crazy.
It doesn't crash the same way. That didn't start happening until last gen. So I was joking when I said, do you remember when Halo 2 crashed during the World Finals? No, because it never did.
Yeah.
It never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I don't.
And how important is that for a competitive game that you're playing for money?
To me, that used to be one of the things about why I liked consoles, but I also like PCs. Consoles are more stable. My games had never force closed out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really noticed it with Xbox One games where it just boot back to the dashboard just randomly in games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's 360. I don't remember that ever happening really. I can't think of an instance where it's I was playing something and it just took me away. But
there was a few games where it seemed to do that. I remember Scott Pilgrim was glitchy when it first launched. And then the PS3 version, they never fixed the glitchiness. The PS3 version would randomly crash sometimes. But those games where that happened, it was so far and few between that generation that I can just remember the small handful of ones that occurred versus I assume it's happened on every single Xbox One game I've played at some point.
Yeah.
Every single PS4 game, I'm sure it has crashed on me at some point. It's that common. It doesn't trigger a memory,
Anything else for the good of the pod before we say goodbye?
So is this FaZe Clan's final thing before they're completely dissolved and don't exist anymore?
No, they've actually merged. It's not a story we covered in this episode, but they actually merged with another company, got rid of their leadership who were businessmen, CEO types, and not gamers. And they, I think, are at probably the start of a rebuild, probably a pretty decent rebuild here.
Oh gosh.
So we'll see. But I did notice, the last thing I'll say is I really enjoyed the finals, the grand finals gameplay. I watched the whole thing. There's maybe 8 or 9 games they played because the bracket got reset, and they do not play it how I normally see Halo Infinite played. They weren't running around, sliding around every single corner. There was a lot more just walking, gun at the ready, sight lines, aiming, across sight lines and stuff like that. And the gameplay was definitely much higher level, which was much more fun to watch because I don't care about the sliding. That doesn't make you good. The running, the sliding, the crazy cracked movement, that doesn't make you good. I used to beat up on Fortnite guys who would build like crazy, but they couldn't even aim, And that's what I love about Halo is you got to be able to aim, you got to know the levels and use your environment. And so I noticed that this high level gameplay, grand finals, they were they were playing a different style for sure.
You should check out on that link, Dave. You should link to that tweet.
Mm-hmm.
From FaZe Clan. and click on at Faze Clan and check out their pinned tweet. It gives off big time graphic design is my passion vibes.
Pin tweet. Oh, world champs. Yeah, for sure.
Look at that champs at the
Yeah,
bottom.
I do not like the Halo font. Does not work good for anything other than spelling out the word Halo, and I will die on that hill. Because people try, and I've tried to use it before too in different things, and it looks terrible. Like that looks like OHAMPS. That's what that is. That's OHAMPS.
Hamp.
World OHAMPS. Graphic design is their
He's
passion.
got the peace sign coming out of the side of his head.
Yeah. And the gun on the top of his head. Yeah. They played good though, man. They were really good. They just crushed them. But all right, well, happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
We're gonna go defeat Uber Lilith now. Jeez.